Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
My name?
You can't hear through the, I don't know if she's on there.
Sí, sí, yo lo escucho. Omar Maldonado.
Omar Maldonado.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. Do you both speak English?
I
No.
speak English. She don't.
Okay. Who's Miss Bonilla?
Mama.
Okay. Mr. Interpreter, I'm going to need you to interpret for the victim as well as the defendant.
No problem.
So we'll probably have to just do this one over the loudspeaker. This is case number 20 CF 11067. Sir, you were
Este es el
arrested
número
for...
de caso. I'm sorry, Honor. Este es el caso 20CF11067.
You were arrested for aggravated battery, domestic violence.
Usted fue arrestado por agresión física y violencia doméstica.
There's probable cause.
Determinó que existe indicio de criminalidad.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Se le designará defensor público para que lo represente.
And then this is directed to the victim. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Please state your name.
Ana Rosso. Ana Patricia Rosso Bonilla.
Your Honor, just a quick question. Does the victim need the interpreter as well?
Yes.
Okay, because she's been answering to you in English, so I was a little confused as to
I
what
think-
I had to do here.
Understands,
Okay.
but she
Would-
doesn't speak very well.
Okay, so I think she
Okay.
does speak English somewhat, but I think she's more comfortable with the interpreter. So if you could just explain to her that although she may understand what I'm saying, she needs to answer in Spanish only.
Punto. Señora, si entiende un poco de inglés, por favor, si va a usar el intérprete, espera que yo interprete para entonces después contestar en español y yo interpretarlo de vuelta. ¿Bien?
¿Cómo no?
Gracias.
All right. And ma'am,
Go
please
ahead.
raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Levanta la mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Jura decir la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
Ma'am, do you want to have contact with Mr. Galvez?
Señora, ¿desea tener contacto con el señor Galvez?
No.
No.
Thank you. Mr. Galvez, you are not to have any contact with Miss Bonilla.
Señor Galvez, se le prohíbe el contacto con la señorita Bonilla.
You are to maintain a separate residence.
Debe buscarse otro paradero.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma blanca o arma de fuego.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Se le emitirá la libertad provisional en este momento.
Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
¿Tiene
No,
usted alguna duda o pregunta?
no, su señoría.
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Thank you. Ms. Bush?
And Your
Gracias.
Honor, may we have that no contact order include the witness, which is the daughter?
Yes. Mr.
Sí, señor
Galvez?
Liz. Si pudiéramos incluir también en la orden de prohibición de contacto a la víctima, a la testigo, perdón, quien es la hija.
You're not to have any contact with the witness in this case. Do you understand?
Correcto.
Señor, no puede tener ningún contacto con la testigo tampoco en este caso, ¿lo entendió?
Correcto.
Correct.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And then we can go back to the headphones for this case. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Ángel Lázaro Fonseca Rodríguez.
Ángel Lázaro Fonseca Rodríguez.
This is case number 20 CF 4897. You were arrested for aggravated stalking after injunction and violation of domestic injunction pursuant to a probable cause capias. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim, and you are to abide by the injunction that is currently in place in 18 DR 5524. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $2,500. You also have yes. Yep, if I don't say it, then you can just strike it. And then, sir, you also have case number 19 CF 735. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias for burglary of a dwelling, violation of a domestic injunction, criminal mischief greater than $1,000, and petty theft. I'll also appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter as well. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to abide by the injunction. And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. Your bond on count 1 is $10,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $2,500. Bond on count 3 is $150. Bond on count 4 is $100. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered today?
Los pagos, ¿cómo se harían? Porque yo no tengo ese dinero completo.
No. How would I make those payments? Because I don't have that amount.
You will need to talk to your lawyer about your bond situation, and you'll also need to contact a bondsman about how to go about obtaining a bond. Thank you, sir.
Gracias a usted.
Your Honor, on that case ending in 4897, it must have been a discrepancy on the law enforcement officer. It's supposed to be a 2020 CF.
Oh, the case number?
4897. Yes, ma'am. On the warrant, it says 2020 CF 4897.
Okay.
And they must have put it in on the affidavit as
Let
2019.
me see. It's on the capias. Nope, that's 735. No, that's right. There's 2020 CF 4897, and then there's 19 CF 735.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you said?
Pardon me?
Is that what you stated as 2020 at the beginning?
Yes. He has two
Okay.
cases.
Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good morning. Your name?
Jesús M. Colón Rodríguez. Jesús M. Colón Rodríguez.
Jesus M. Colon Rodriguez.
Sir, you were here in 20 MM 6678. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about any of the things that I've ordered this
No.
morning?
No.
No.
Mr. Colon, do you understand that if you return to Puerto Rico and the state of Florida files charges on this case, that you will need to return to the state of Florida?
Sí. Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time, sir. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Jose Gonzalez.
Jose Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, this is 20 MM 6677. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, no contact with victim or witnesses, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the scene, the Circle K at 808 North Chickasaw Trail in Orlando, abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you want to accept that offer?
Okay.
Okay.
Did you have an opportunity to read the plea form before court this morning?
Oh, sí.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you'll be giving up?
No, estoy bien.
No.
Are you on probation?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Okay.
Okay.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
No.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to the Circle K or have any contact with the witness or victim. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 14th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Good morning, Nelson Vega.
Nelson Vega.
Mr. Vega, you are here in case number 20MM6573. This is your arraignment for the offense of resisting officer without violence. You are represented by the Office of the Public Defender. Was there an offer relayed to Mr. Vega?
Your Honor, if I may have just one moment to pull the offers
Sure.
up. I apologize. I didn't realize.
And Your Honor, Rafaela Charles, Public Defender's Office, we did file a waiver of appearance at arraignment today, this morning.
For Mr. Vega?
Yes,
So he does not want to resolve his case today?
correct.
Okay, so I'm going to give him a court date.
Okay.
Mr. Vega, you are going to be, am I reassigning this case? Vega, okay. So you're gonna be in Judge Gibson's division, that's Division 80, pretrial conference is November 10th at 9 a.m. and that's going to be in courtroom 9C. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so.
And Your Honor, just for the record, there was no offer because he's on active felony probation.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
Is the Portuguese, Your Honor?
This is Portuguese? Okay, so that we have no more Spanish? All right, thank you so much for your help this morning, Mr. Interpreter.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
All right. No. Is it Brazilian? Yes, okay, Brazilian. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to call the case. This is 20 CT 5667. This is directed to the defendant. Please tell me your name.
This is Paulo Lara, Portuguese interpreter. I have not been sworn yet, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Do you swear to translate from Portuguese to English, English to Portuguese, truthfully in these matters here today?
Yes, I do. Paulo Lara, Portuguese interpreter.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Celso,
Bom dia, me diga o seu nome, por favor.
Celso Tarso Rodrigues Viana.
Celso Castro Rodrigues Viana.
Tarso.
Sir, you were,
The interpreter cannot hear the defendant very well, Your Honor.
make sure you speak right into the microphone, sir.
Por favor, fale diretamente no microfone, senhor.
Ok.
You were
Okay.
arrested for DUI with BAL greater than .20.
Você foi preso por estar dirigindo sob influência de substâncias com um nível alcoólico maior que 2.20.
Ok.
There's probable
Ok.
cause.
Então tem uma causa provável.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Eu vou nomear o defensor público para te representar.
You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances or alcohol.
Você não pode consumir nenhuma substância controlada nem álcool.
You will be tested through pretrial release.
Você será testado até a liberação antes do julgamento.
You are not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Você não pode dirigir sem uma carteira de motorista válida.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Eu vou colocar você sobre liberação antes do julgamento neste momento.
I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond cases.
E eu não vou tomar nenhuma decisão com relação à abstenção de fiança.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Você tem alguma pergunta, senhor? Não.
All right.
No.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. That's all we have.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Is that Mr. Yulo in the back? It is, yes, sir. All right, good morning. Good morning. I'm going to take Mr. Yulo's case next. Mr. Yulo, you are here on Rochelle McCaskill, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, if we could have Ms. McCaskill brought to court, please.
They had to put in the other room for some reason. I'm not sure if he transferred. Can I approach the paper now?
Sure. Thank you very much.
You've been a savior for all my out-of-county stuff.
I'm telling you, we have a lot of them, yes. All right, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Rochelle Lachey McCaskill.
Ms. McCaskill, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
All right, Ms. McCaskill, please state your name and date of birth for the record.
Rochelle Lachey McCaskill, 1/21/1987.
All right, and do you read and understand English?
Yes.
Ms. McCaskill, in this case, you were charged with petty theft.
Both of these cases are violations of probation.
Oh, there's two.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's two. Both are violations of probation, and Ms. McCaskill will be admitting to the new law violations, or essentially admitting to the Condition 5 violations for both of the violations of probation. Agreed upon resolution, Your Honor, is 180 days jail. We have credit for 40 days, already previously signed by the state attorney over there in Lake County.
180 with credit for 40?
That's what I have, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. McCaskill, did you have an opportunity to read the plea form and review that with your lawyer?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the things that you read on the plea form?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a plea form that your lawyer handed me. Is this your signature? Can you see that? Is that your signature here on the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you into entering this plea today?
No, ma'am.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what has been represented today in open court?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Bush, you're covering this for the state this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. McCaskill, you are admitting at this time that you did violate your probation with respect to Condition 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. McCaskill, I am going to accept your plea. I find that you are alert and intelligent and that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered and that you understand the nature of the charges against you and you are represented by competent counsel with whom you say you are satisfied. Based upon the representation of counsel, I do find that there is a factual basis for acceptance of the plea. Do I have a score sheet?
Did he not send it? They didn't send it
Your
over?
Honor, I believe I have a copy of the score sheet.
Oh, I have one here too.
Okay.
Mr. Yulo, did you have an opportunity to review the score sheet?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections to the
No
score sheet?
objections.
Okay. All right, Ms. McCaskill, I am going to, was she previously adjudicated?
Yes, Your Honor, and this will just be a revoking term, adjudication on both.
Okay, so I will affirm the adjudication, sentence you, revoke and terminate your probation, sentence you to 180 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 40 days time served. This sentence is to run concurrent with any other sentences currently serving. All of your outstanding cost and restitution is going to be reduced to a civil judgment, including your court costs, and there's a $150 cost of prosecution.
And if we could also put, in addition to the running concurrently with any existing case, but concurrent with each other as well, Your Honor?
Yes, we will. And then, ma'am, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Is there anything else, Mr. Elo?
Nothing, Your Honor.
No? Okay. Ms. Bush, anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks again.
It is 17 CF 1607B04 and 17 CF 161304. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Mardo Shea Matil.
Sir, you are here in case number 20 CF 11062. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I'll need you to come straight to the microphone, please. Thank you. Raise your right hand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, tell me your name.
Ivana Shinnery.
Miss Shinnery, do you want to have contact with Mr. Middle?
No.
No?
No.
I see you shaking your head. Can you please answer?
No. No.
No. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Middle, you are not to have any contact with Miss Shinnery. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered this morning?
No, ma'am.
No? All right, so I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Trent Tucker.
Mr. Tucker, this is 20 CF 11063. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered this morning?
No, ma'am.
Your bond is going to be $1,500. I am revoking the bond in 20 CF 3424. That bond's going to be set at none.
Which one?
The case that you're already out on bond for. It's another domestic violence case.
Okay, so I can't bond out?
No, you have to have your lawyer file a motion. Ms. Custon, are you here on a particular case?
I'm not, Your Honor, I'm just here.
Okay. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Jorge Campos.
Mr. Campos, you're here in 20 MM 452. You were arrested for battery. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
You are not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name?
Victor Castaneda.
Mr. Castaneda, you're here in 20 MM 6675. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi,
Please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Tell me your name, please.
Taylor Castleman.
Ms. Castleman, do you want to have contact with Mr. Castaneda?
I'm sorry, do I want to?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you afraid of him?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Do you have any concerns about your safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No, ma'am.
You've been dating for how long?
A year and a half.
Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you in the past?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Bush, did you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Castaneda, you are not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Castleman. Do you understand what that means?
What was that?
No hostile contact.
Okay.
Do you understand what that means?
I mean, hostile. What do you mean by that?
It means that you cannot argue with her, you can't fight, you can't act aggressive toward her in any way.
All right.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
No, ma'am.
Anything else, ma'am?
I guess about, is there like he's just being released later or?
Yes, he'll be released later today.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Cynthia Cicchetti.
Ma'am, this is 20 MM 6673. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Sir, tell me your name.
John Decato?
Mr. Decato, do you want to have contact with Ms. Cicchetti?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
Do you live together?
Yes.
How long have you been dating?
Almost 5 years.
And during your 5-year relationship, have there been instances of violence between the two of you?
No, not really. No. Just that now it's a lot of family issues going on because of the COVID and stuff. Before that, no.
Do you want to continue living together?
I'd like to.
Do you have any concerns about your safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No.
No?
No.
Were drugs or alcohol a factor in the incident?
No.
Ms. Bush, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr.
Nothing from the public defender's office, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Cicchetti, you're not to have any hostile contact with Mr. Decato. Do you understand what that means?
I'm sorry? Oh, hostile, yes.
You are
yes,
not to
ma'am.
have any hostile contact.
Absolutely.
And you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'll place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you.
Sir, anything else?
No, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Chrissy Sid.
Ms. Sid, this is 20 MM 451. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Ms. Sid, is there a third party who can facilitate contact between the children?
Yes, there is.
Who
The
would
kids
that-
full-time live with me full-time.
Right.
And we're actually moving to Alabama as soon as I get out of here. Like, the kids are registered to be in school, father's aware, like, it's a mutual thing. we don't have any issues, me and the father. It was just a miscommunication at that moment. He is
I get
aware.
it. I don't like to talk too much about the facts of your case, and I know your lawyer doesn't want you to either.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
I the kids live with me full time.
has them right now?
Cause he has them right now
Okay, so you're gonna have to figure out a way, a third
to get
party
them.
to get them.
Yeah, no, of course.
Back. Okay, so I'm gonna put that you can have contact with him through a third party regarding the children only.
Yes,
Do you
that's
understand?
fine. And then like, he gets them every 2 weeks. So as long as there's a third party,
Correct.
I'm fine with
Your
that.
lawyer
He's
can
fine
also
with it.
file a motion at a later date to
No,
have
that's
that
fine.
modified.
That's fine.
It's not a final order. It can be modified, just so you know. I don't know how that's going to affect your move. And if you are in the state of Georgia,
Alabama.
I'm sorry, in Alabama, you are going to have to return to Florida if the state of Florida files charges in this case. Do you understand?
I'm sorry, what?
If the state of Florida files charges in this case, you will have to return to Florida. Otherwise, there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest.
No, of course. I'll be here every 2 weeks. I mean, the kids have to be with their father.
Okay. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
What does that mean? To
Are you okay? You what? Good morning. Your name?
Errol Deans.
Sir, this is 20MM449. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any question about anything that I've ordered this morning?
Yeah, I would like to know, how do I get my things then from the house?
You may have a one-time return with the police to get your things. You need to call the non-emergency phone number for the local police department, and they'll be able to assist you.
And next question, I have a firearm permit. I have to give it up back?
You, at this time, are not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you do have a weapon, you will need to turn that in also to the police department within 6 hours of your release from the jail.
All right.
When the case is over, you can get it back.
Okay.
Again, when you call the police to get your things, also tell them about the firearm. You can't just show up to the police station with the gun.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Deans, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Can I explain that for me, please? Finish? All right. Thanks, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
John Robert Dowdy.
Mr. Dowdy, you were here in 20MM 803. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you are to maintain a separate residence. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
No, ma'am.
All right. Your bond is $500, sir. Good morning. Your name? Sir?
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Donald Paget.
Mr. Paget, this is 20MM450. You were arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Did you have a question, sir?
Can we ask for a one-time return to collect?
Sure. Mr. Paget, you can go back to the house one time with the police to get your things if needed. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you, sir. Did Mr. Delver bond?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Delver?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Mr. Delbert bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Ebony Robles.
Oh, Miss Allison bonded as well, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Robles, you are here in 20 CT 5666. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Robles, you cannot drive without a valid driver's license. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $500 in that case. You're on probation in Alachua County. And I'm going to set a $1,000 bond on each of the violations of probation from Alachua County. Ms. Robles,
Yes, ma'am.
it's possible that your probation officer will file a affidavit or violation of probation with a warrant.
I actually have court for an open violation in October, so she may just wait till then. I do have a small question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, sorry. Is there any possibility that I could possibly get either PTR or ROR at least on the driving on suspended so I can have my mom is actually driving here from Maine. As soon as she got the call that I got arrested, she called her job, called out for the next 3 days, and got on the road to drive to Florida to come make sure my daughter was okay because I have no family in the state. So if possible, if I could get a PTR or ROR on the driving on a suspended so that they could just post the bond on my violations.
Where do you live?
I live on Ochaney Highway. I've lived in Orlando since I was 7 years old. I have a full-time job. I have an apartment.
Where do you work?
7-Eleven on Dean and Colonial.
All right, I'll ROR you on the driving while license.
I
suspended
appreciate
George County
that. Thank you,
case.
Your Honor.
Ms. Robles, what I was trying to explain to you though is I've set a bond on those out-of-county cases. I'm not the judge on those cases, so it's possible that they could revoke the bond, but I did set one on there today so that you can bond out because they are not transporting people right
Yeah.
now.
I really appreciate that.
And do not drive on without
Yes,
a
ma'am.
driver's license, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And Your Honor, the Dwillis was PTR or ROR?
ROR.
ROR, thank you.
All right. This is the arraignment docket. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Devon Harvey.
Mr. Collins was medical, Your Honor.
All right. Not being held in this case. On Mr. Collins, that's 20 CT 237. He's represented by the public defender. Ms. Charles, do you want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor. Filed a waiver on this morning as well. I apologize. Plea of not guilty on his behalf and set for a pretrial conference.
All right. And that's going to be in Division 81, which is Judge McGinnis. Pretrial conference, October 23rd at 9 a.m., courtroom 4E. And you said you're Mr. Harvey?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in 20 CT 3222. This is your arraignment for the offense of driving while license suspended. Ms. Charles, how would he like to proceed?
Enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Not guilty? This is going to be rotation, which is Judge Steve Jewett, pretrial conference, October 8th at 10 a.m., courtroom 4B, is Division 84. Thank you, sir.
The next one, Andrew Rodriguez is medical.
And Your Honor, that was October 8th.
Correct.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Jenkins is?
No, we had an Andrew Rodriguez next. He's not on your.
I had Mr. Jenkins first. This is 19 MM 4097. This case, my note indicates, Mr. Jenkins, that your case is set for a status hearing in Veterans Court on September 21st at 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 3 here at the BRC. Were you aware of that, Mr. Jenkins?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He's my client, so
Oh.
We did get this set before. He's already been seen by Judge Whitehead, so.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, it looks like you're all set and your case is going to be heard on the 21st. And then, I'm sorry, Angel Rodriguez was what?
Medical, Your Honor.
Medical, okay. Ms. Charles, your office represents him. Do you want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe we saw the waiver on his, so for plea not guilty, set that for PTCG.
Okay. So did you guys file these waivers this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Division 50. Pretrial conference is going to be November 2nd at 2:30 p.m. in courtroom 7C.
And, Your Honor, what division is that?
50.
Thank you.
And Mr. Smith? Christopher Smith?
You had that, Calvin Johnson on your, for him.
I don't have Mr. Johnson.
Calvin Johnson is a municipal ordinance.
Is it a arraignment?
Arraignment, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Tell me your name, sir.
Good morning, Christopher Mack Smith.
Mr. Smith, sir, you're here in 18 MM 11223. This is your arraignment for the offense of trespass in an occupied structure. You are represented by the public defender. Ms. Charles, how would he like to proceed?
Not guilty, Your Honor,
All right.
for PTC.
Mr. Smith, you are going to be in Division 63. That's Judge Bigney. Pretrial conference is October 8th at 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 12C.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Michael Edward O'Hora III.
All right, sir. Mr. Oro, this is a plea out of Seminole County in case number 20MM 2088. It's my understanding that the state's offer is that you are going to plead to the offense of petty theft, second-degree misdemeanor. You'll be adjudicated guilty, given 30 days in jail with credit for time served, court costs, cost of defense, and cost of prosecution reduced to a judgment. Is that your understanding of the agreement, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How many days does Mr. Oro have? Michael Oro, O-H-O-R-O. I'll give you the booking number if that's easier. 200-160-50.
I think I was here.
And we're doing the out-of-county case?
Pardon me?
The out-of-county case?
Yes.
56 days.
56, thank you. All right. Mr. Orr, did you have a chance to review the plea form before
Yes,
court?
ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No,
Are you on probation?
no.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 56 days in jail. You've got credit for 56 days time served.
All right.
You will have to pay your court costs, which include the cost of defense and cost of prosecution. Those will be reduced to a judgment.
All right.
You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Jonathan Colon Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, we have been waiting to see you for weeks. We've reset your case so many times. I'm glad you could finally make it to court.
Appreciate you.
Let me just find all your paperwork. Okay, Mr. Cruz, you have two cases that are set for plea this morning. These are, or there's an Orange County and a Seminole County case. So your Orange County case is the 20MM 1557 and then Seminole County 17 CF 1024. Mr. Cruz, are you going to be entering a plea of no contest in 20MM 1557?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to circle that on the plea form. And in that case, you have been charged with resisting officer without violence and driving without a valid driver's license. The agreed upon disposition is an adjudication of guilt as to both counts, credit for time served, court costs, and cost of prosecution for both charges. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
And you'd like to accept that offer at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form?
No.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
I understand.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, how many days does Mr. Colon have?
Give me one moment, Your Honor.
Sure. Ms. Charles, will you approach, there's a plea form for the out-of-county case that I'll need Mr. Cruz to sign. Thank you.
This will be dealt with. I won't have to do no time on this. Okay.
He has 231 days.
231?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Is that going to be the same credit for time served on 17 CF 1024?
I believe so, Your Honor.
231, okay.
I think initially
230.
it was 211, so with all that.
Okay, yeah, I saw the 211, but I think that's probably old.
Right.
All right, and the misdemeanor case, I'll sentence you to 231 days with credit for 231 days time served. Mr. Colon, you'll have to pay court costs, including the cost of prosecution. Those will be due by September 14th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing in that matter. Then we have 17 CF 1024, where you are going to be entering an admission to a violation of probation. This is out of Seminole County, where you're on probation for dealing in stolen property and providing false verification to a pawnbroker. You understand that the maximum penalty for both of those offenses is 20 years in the Department of Corrections.
Yes, ma'am.
And it appears that the agreed upon disposition for that case, approved by Judge Rexeidler, is that you are going to admit you violated your probation. Your probation is going to be revoked and terminated. You'll be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to, was it 231 days in jail with credit for 231 days time served. Your court costs will all be reduced to a civil judgment. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you'd like to do at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're admitting you violated your probation by committing a new law offense, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have enough time to talk to your lawyer about the plea and all the potential consequences associated with it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up today?
No questions.
All right, you understand that we're not going to have a hearing on this matter as to whether or not you violated your probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, at this time, I'm going to accept your admission, adjudicate you guilty, revoke and terminate your probation. Ms. Charles, did you have a chance to review the score sheet?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, did you want to come take a look at it to see if you
Yes,
had any objections to it?
And Your Honor, I believe I need to sign the plea.
The plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Charles, you do too.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to sign it here.
And I believe it just needs to be modified as to the number of days.
The plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's 231, with 231 times served. I'll just initial that I wrote that. All right, there's that. Mhm. Thank you. Did you sign both? Or did you do it? Thank you. All right, any objection to the score sheet, Ms. Charles?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
Okay. As I said, Mr. Cruz, you'll be sentenced to 231 days in jail with credit for 231 days time served. Your court costs are going to be reduced to a civil judgment, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And then I think. I have to fix this. Ms. Bush, are you ready for the 33-day motion?
If I may have just a moment.
Sure.
Yes, the state's ready.
Thank you. 20 CF 9144 Albert Williams Jr.
A notice of non-filing was filed on September 11th.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 9487 Michael Rodriguez.
Notice of non-filing on September 11th.
That'll be granted. 20 CF 9625 Danelle Allen.
And information was filed on September 11th. Filing ID is 113231983.
That'll be denied. 20 MM 5850 Irvine Augusti.
A notice of non-filing on September 11th.
That'll be granted. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Kenneth Lee Davis Jr.
You're Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, how about this, Kevin Dominguez?
Okay, you want to do him first, Kevin?
Well, I can take care of Mr. Davis. I just wanted to make sure that Mr. Dominguez is coming.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Davis, you are here, sir, in case number 20MM6686. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $500. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 8677. That's going to be set at none, sir. Thank you.
thought it was appealed.
Your Honor, may I just make a comment on the out of bond? I know
Sure.
you had a ruling, just that there's no info filed on that for possession of cocaine, and he was arrested back July 20th.
And Your Honor,
that
we
right?
just received the FDLE information on that case. It just came in a couple of days ago,
Okay,
and the office will be filing.
filing.
an
Okay, all right, thank you.
right,
My
thank you,
ruling
Your Honor.
remains the same, thank you. Hey, Mr. Thompson, how are you? I'm always hesitant to say people's names with the masks on if I haven't seen them for a long time because I never know if it's the person.
This is the Mendez, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is a add-on to address a fad. Can I get a case number on the fad? I don't have any information about this case.
Yeah, Your Honor, it's 2020 MM 14880AO.
0A0. Okay, and then what was Mr. Dominguez arrested for?
He was originally arrested for DUI.
Okay.
You mean for his current charges or the one for the FAD?
Well, the fad, right, was 20 mm 1480?
1480, yes.
Okay, and then he was arrested for DUI.
Battery domestic.
Okay. When did he come to initial appearance on the battery?
On the 24th of February of 2020.
I'm confused.
The DUI, I think he wanted out on. That's the new case, right? The DUI is the new case?
Yeah, the DUI is what brought him into jail today. But she said, when did he come to first appearance for the misdemeanor, the battery?
Wasn't addressed, which is the misdemeanor. So that's why they brought him back for the misdemeanor. Yes, that's all.
Right, I'm trying to figure out what brought Mr. Dominguez to jail, what was he arrested for, and then,
DUI.
okay. What's that case number?
He doesn't have a case, one moment.
Okay. Okay, so the out on bond is the fad is 20 mm 1480, which is a battery domestic violence.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that was referred to pretrial diversion. I'm not going to take any action on that case. Thank you, sir. You'll be able to bond out.
I will?
Yes.
And
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, sir.
may the state have the case number on the DUI?
It's 20 CT 4669. All right, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Yes, Lopez Diet.
Sir, you are here in case number 20 MM 6685. You were arrested for loitering or prowling. There is probable cause for that as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $100. Your bond on count 2, actually, Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Mr. Diaz?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 7 days, Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the scene, which is the area around Texas Avenue, West Oak Ridge Road, and court costs, Your Honor.
Did you want to accept the offer, sir?
And Your Honor, that's taking into consideration his out on bond.
The 3 cases that he's out on bond for?
Yes, Your Honor.
ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
You'd like to take the offer, sir? Did you have a chance to read the plea form before court?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to Texas Avenue Plaza. You'll have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by September 14th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. I'm not going to revoke your bond on your out-on-bond cases. Thank you, sir.
ma'am.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Good evening.
What is it?
Good afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's okay. What's your name?
Oh, Aaron L. Gordon, ma'am.
Mr. Gordon, sir, you are here in 20 MM 6679. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Gordon?
No, Your Honor.
Is there a reason there's no offer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's based on the facts of the case, other matters that are contained within the facts, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gordon, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name?
DeBarris Hall.
Mr. Hall, this is 20 MM 6687. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence.
Yes.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Bush, is there no offer in this matter as well?
No offer, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hall, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you.
Any conditions, Your Honor? No.
Next person you want to Noble is mental health.
This is 20 MM 802. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Noble. Mr. Coach, do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
So
Yes,
what,
Your Honor.
since COVID has started, what we normally do on these cases, we have a lot of people who are either medical or mental health. Normally, we will reset those cases, but due to COVID, we've been asking your office if you want to waive the appearance. That way we can do the initial appearance. We can set the bond for them, and that way they have the ability to bond out of the jail, and they don't have to stay here for any prolonged period of time. And then certainly if they're not able to bond out, your office can file any appropriate motion.
Okay. Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. We waive his appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's 20 MM 802. He was arrested for criminal mischief. There is probable cause. He's not to return to the scene. I'm going to stay the bond at $500, and I'm not going to take any action on the out-on-bond case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, would that also include no contact with the victim?
I wasn't going to order that based on the facts that it's his sister
Yes, Your
without
Honor.
talking with him. Good afternoon. Your name?
Devontae Anthony Powell.
Mr. Powell, you're here in 20 MM 6681. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer for Mr. Powell?
Yes, Your Honor. And this is taking into consideration his out on bond. The offer is an adjudication of guilt, 5 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the scene, and court costs. Abide by all trespass warnings.
Mr. Powell, do you want to accept the offer?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are not to return to 2060 Americana Boulevard. Your bond is $500. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 5964. I'll reset it at $5,000. Thank you, sir. Mr. Pooverger bond? Thank you.
Your Honor, on Mr. Powell's out on bond, you said you revoke it and send it at 1,000?
5,000.
5,000?
Yes.
For, it's 2 charges.
So 2,500 on each count. Thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Your name? Hello. Tell me your name.
Javar Singh.
Mr. Sands, is that correct? Mr. Sands, you'll have to answer my questions out loud, please, okay?
Sure.
This is 20 MM 6672. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Sands?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 5 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the Salvation Army at 624 Lexington Avenue in Orlando, no contact with witnesses, abide by all trespass warnings.
Mr. Sands, do you want to accept the offer?
What she said? Your Honor, there's competency concerns in the history. If we enter not guilty.
I want to do what?
Okay, so Miss, you're advising that you don't want your client to take a plea at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sands, your bond is $500, so you're not to return to the Salvation Army. Thank you.
Yeah, and then she said.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Stephen Williams.
Mr. Williams, this is case number 20MM6676. You were arrested for petty theft. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer for Mr. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven at 4305 North Pine Hills Road, and no return to the Quick Shop stop at 5098 North Lane in Orlando. No contact with any witnesses. Abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
All right. Mr. Williams, did you want to accept that offer, sir? Ms. Bush, it was 2 days with credit for 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Williams, did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Sir, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return to the 7-Eleven or the Quick Stop. You're not to have any contact with any of the witnesses in the case. You will have to pay court costs. Those will be due by September 14th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Would that release me today?
I don't know if you have any other holds, but
No, I don't.
then you'll be released.
Thank you.
Mr. Miles is, Workman is minute up.
All right, that's 20 MM 6682. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent him. Would you like to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Workman was arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause he's not to return to Advent Health. His bond is $500. Good afternoon, your name?
Good. Bertice Taylor.
Ms. Taylor, this is 20MM 4298. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear at pretrial conference.
Yes, ma'am. I was in surgery,
Oh, I see your hands bandaged up there.
but I never missed a court date. Never missed a court date.
Okay. So, Ms. Taylor, in the future, if you are going to miss court, though, you need to notify your lawyer. You can also always call the judge's chambers and speak to the judicial assistant and let them know why you're not going to be in court.
Yes, ma'am.
You also have 20 MM 3719. You were arrested for not appearing for court on that day. I'm going to place you on pretrial release for both of the cases.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, Ms. Taylor, now that you're supervised by pretrial release, if you have an issue with court as well, you can let them know and they can help you communicate that.
May I say something, Judge?
Sure.
I was going to court every court date. The last time I went, they gave me a piece of paper because everything was virtual. When I called the number, I was on hold so long, and I know I should have stayed on there, and I hung up. And after that, I should have just kept going on with that. But I went to surgery, and I was in the hospital for like 4 days. I had a staph infection. I thought it was a spider bite, but it was a staph infection.
Oh, okay.
So, but I never missed a court date. But
Okay, so like I said, you're gonna be on pretrial release now, so that'll be an extra layer of support that you can have to help you if there's ever an issue like that again.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
Your Honor, if the court could order no return to the properties in each of the cases and no contact with witnesses.
Sure. So no contact and no return. Thank you, Ms. Bush.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Dante Rucker.
Mr. Rucker, this is 20MO917. You were arrested for state misdemeanors. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Bush, you have an offer for Mr. Rucker?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and court costs.
Mr. Rucker, did you want to accept that offer?
2 days, yes.
Okay. Did you read the plea form before court?
Say it again?
Did you read the plea
Yes.
form? Do you have
Yes.
any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
Your Honor, might have a second?
Sure.
Let me resolve.
Your Honor, if you'd like to resolve the case.
Okay.
Accept the offer. Thank you.
Mr. Rucker, do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
Yes.
What's your question?
Oh, no rights. No.
No questions?
No questions.
All right, Mr. Rucker, just listen to my questions, okay?
Understand?
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by September 14th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Tell me your name.
Adria Gabriela Shemansky.
Ms. Shemansky, this is 20MO918. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There
Yes,
is
ma'am.
probable cause. Ms. Bush, is there an offer for Ms. Shemansky?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and court costs.
Did you want to accept the offer, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by September 14th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
That's not the next one, Your Honor. He's coming.
Oh, okay.
He's getting him, Your Honor, they have the papers.
No problem.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'm sorry. I thought my document was still.
That's okay.
First, come on, mister.
This is Mr. Brinson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Brinson, you're here in 20 CF 8006. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for grand theft of a motor vehicle and grand theft third degree. In that case, your bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is going to be $150. You're not to have any contact with the victims. You also have 20 CF 11075, where you were arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in those cases as well. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500, bond on count 2, $100, bond on count 3, $100. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 1636. That'll be set at none. Thank you, sir.
The next one, Your Honor, is medical, please, Carmichael.
Ms. Carmichael's case 20 CF 11078. I'll appoint the public defender to represent her. She was arrested for attempted robbery with a weapon and resisting officer without violence. Would you like to waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $100. She's not to have any contact with the victim. She's not to return to the scene, and she's not to possess any weapons or firearms. Kaysen? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Kaysen, you're here in 20 CF 11076. You were arrested for possession of oxycodone, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and trespass in a structure. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100. Your bond on count 3 is $100. You are not to return to the scene of 2060 Americana Boulevard. You are not to possess any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You're going to be randomly tested through pretrial release. I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond case. Thank you, sir. Your name?
Jonathan?
Are you Mr. Colon Negron?
Yes.
And sir, this is 20 CF 11066. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, carrying a concealed firearm, threatening a public servant, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $5,000. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $150. Bond on count 4, $100. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I have a second with my client?
Sure.
What's your question? Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. There we go. Good afternoon. Your name?
Ray
What's your last name, Ray?
Delian.
Mr. Delian, this is 20 CF 11077. You were arrested for attempted burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact.
I have to tell a secret.
Well, not right now, okay? I think your lawyer would prefer you not.
my father.
All right, Mr.
I
Delian.
murdered
Mr.
my
Delian,
father.
please stop talking, Mr. Delian, okay?
His name is Yahweh.
All right. You can
Jack was
remove
Ben
Mr.
Delian. I
Delian.
murdered my father. I can
Thank
show you
You
everything.
can remove Mr. Delian. All right, so I'm going to set his bond at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. He's not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. Mr. Hoover, how you doing this afternoon?
Good morning.
You are here in case number 20 CF 11090. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Hoover, you're not to return to the scene. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I knew what I needed.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Are you okay?
You know, I don't know what's going on. You know,
What's the
happened in
matter?
This happened in my own home. Some guys came to my house, pretending the
No,
police
wait, hold
officer.
on. I don't want you to talk about the facts of your case. You seem like you're
No.
not stable, like you're not
Listen, I was
sturdy.
beaten. I was beaten. I was beaten, you know. All you see all this palm guns on my hand.
Mr. Johnson, I have to have you put your mask on.
Okay, no problem, man. No problem.
Thank you. All right, but you're okay?
You know, I've been like about three days trying to get somebody to help me. You know, I've been beaten in my own home.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you were arrested for burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. There is probable cause for the offense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond
No.
on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2 is going to be $100.
Ma'am,
Sir, just a minute. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim.
I don't. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a
Right.
question? You might want to ask your lawyer first.
I just want to address you, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? I address you the courts, please.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
What's my bond? Well, I didn't hear nothing. She said something about $2,500 or something.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yeah, I'm hurt.
Thank you.
All right. First one, 2,500? That's $250 now? I don't know.
Ooh, that's mine.
Oh, man.
Okay, wait a second.
Well, I'm trying to help you so you won't fall. Hold on. Okay. Now then. Walk, stand up and look. Then when you're ready, walk along the side.
Mr. Lawson? Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is 20 CF 11082. You were arrested for trafficking in MDMA greater than 10 grams, less than 200, possession of MDMA, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is going to be $10,000. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $100. Bond on count 4, $100. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you will be tested through pretrial release, sir. Thank you. Oh, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Bond and pretrial.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Jeffrey Lewis, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, you are here in 20 CF 11080. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy and possession of synthetic cannabinoids. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance at this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Good
Good
morning.
afternoon. Your name, sir?
Zaquan Oliver.
Mr. Oliver, you are here in case number 20 CF 11091. You were arrested for trafficking in oxycodone
Yes, I
and
was.
for possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted delinquent. There is probable cause for both of the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $10,000. Your bond on count 2 is going to be $150. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I am going to place you on pretrial release, and you will be subject to random urinalysis testing. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Bond and pretrial.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
My name's Kenneth James Purvis, birth date 12/18/1972.
Thank you. Did Mr. Patrick bond out?
Say it again.
Just one second, Mr. Purvis.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Purvis, sir, you are here in case number 20 CF 11084. You were arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids. There is probable cause for that offense, as well as 20 MO 919, possession of alcohol in public. There's probable cause for that offense as well. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir.
Your Honor, I want to say I appreciate it. And I want to say something. I want to thank the Hope team. I have been blessed with an apartment. And young lady, I want to let you know something. I appreciate it and appreciate you.
All
We're
right.
going to work on it some more.
All right, Mr. Purvis, thank you.
Thank you, young lady. So much.
You're welcome, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Tina Marie Vanderbilt.
Ma'am, you're here in 20 CF 11071. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on counts 2 and 3 is $100. And I'm not going to revoke your bond on your out on bond case. Thank you, ma'am.
I can't get free trial or anything like that?
You didn't qualify for pretrial because of your out on bond.
Oh.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Clavon Whitehead.
Mr. Whitehead, you're here in 20 CF 11072. You were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You are not to drive without a valid driver's license. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Darlash Front.
This is in you have two cases. You have 20 CF 11081. You were arrested for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. There is probable cause, and I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to stay the bond at $1,000. You also have a violation of probation in 18 CF 1882 based upon the probable cause in the previous case. And I'm going to set bond in that case at $1,500. You're to report to probation within 24 hours of your release from the jail.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have an updated face sheet for Mr. Dorilas? No. So, Ms. Bush, on Mr. Dorilas, I'm just confused as to why they have, and I don't know if you know or not, but why they have him marked as a violent felony offender of special concern.
Your Honor, we aren't the ones that put that detainer in. However, I'm looking at his criminal history, and I'm not certain that
He would be.
he would be, unless there's something that's not contained on this.
Yeah, I'm looking. One moment, I'm sorry. He is notated in the DOC screen as a violent felony offender of special concern.
I'll have to change the bond that I previously gave him if that is correct. Then you'll have to have your office file a bond motion because I can't legally give him a bond if that's.
Have him come back, Your Honor?
Please. I don't know, and that's something you're gonna wanna look into to see if that's even correct. Based on the face sheet, it doesn't appear to me that it would be, but that's what they've certified, and so I'm gonna follow it. So on the VOP, the bond is gonna be none. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I just wanna explain to him why. Yeah, yeah. Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Anthony Adams.
Mr. Adams, you're here for an out-of-county warrant out of Broward County. It is for robbery. At this time, your bond is set at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you in the event that Broward County doesn't come to pick you up. I don't know if Broward has started to move people or not. But we'll also reach out to Broward County to see if they'd like to set a bond on your case. Once I hear back from Broward County, we'll bring you back to court to let you know what they said. All right, sir? Thank you. Sir, based upon the face sheet, I wanted to bring you back to court to let you know that I have to leave the bond on your violation of probation set at none at this time. Your lawyer's going to need to file a motion with the trial judge. The Department of Corrections website has you listed as a violent felony offender of special concern. I don't know why.
Me?
I'm not saying that it's true. Based on your face sheet, I'm not sure that it is, but that's how it's designated at this time. So legally, I can't give you a bond. So your lawyer is going to give you, did you give him the contact information on how to reach your office? Okay.
I had a private lawyer in my previous charge.
Okay. So are you going to contact that lawyer to help you with this?
Yeah, but I don't have his number with me.
Who is it?
Mr. Nestle, Jim.
Just a second.
Nestle. Mr. Robert Nestle. That was my previous lawyer.
Mr. Robert Wesley?
Nestle, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Wesley is the public defender. He's not
No,
a-
Robert Nesting.
Nesting?
Yeah. On my previous charge. But I'm not violent. I don't do no violent crime.
I can't. Is it Nestinger?
Yeah, Nesting, Robert. Oh my God, I was already happy. And
I don't see anyone by that name. Are you sure you have the name right?
yes, ma'am. Robert Nestle or Nesting.
It's Mr. Neesmith, Your Honor.
A. Smith,
Robert
yeah.
Neesmith.
Thank you.
That's my
Thank you,
lawyer.
Ms. Bush.
Oh my God.
Mr. Couch, do you want to write this phone number down for him? Am I saying your last name correctly?
Koch?
Koch, okay, thank you. It's 407-246-0500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, sir, you're going to want to contact Mr. Naismith, okay? And he'll be able to file the appropriate motion for you.
Okay.
That doesn't work out. This is our office.
No, just leave it because he's not on there.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing from the state.
What?
Nothing else, nothing further from the public defender's office, Your Honor.
It's closed.
So do 3, 1, 1. So 3,000, 1,000, 1,000 for a total of 5.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, the court will be in recess.